Alrighty, everybody, we are back with the Kingdom Hearts block, mini though it may be. We have Kingdom Hearts and then Kingdom Hearts 2 coming up next, but first, Ryeguy running Kingdom Hearts Final Mix. We had an incentive for this game, which was to do a level 1 Sephiroth fight. We're going to do the entire game level 1, but the Sephiroth fight is going to be level 1 as well. That was met already. So I am very, very excited for that because even at a high level, that fight always gave me fits. So I'm really excited to see how Ryeguy does it. I'm going to stop talking to let Ryeguy and their commentator Bandit Yoshi take it from here. It's all yours.
All right, thank you very much. Hello, everybody. I am Ryeguy45, and like Octini just said, I'm going to be presenting Kingdom Hearts 1 Final Mix, level 1 any percent today. It's a pretty wild category, compared to the others like beginner or standard, or I know we did beginner last year. So compared to that, it's very chaotic. We're level 1 the whole time. We die very easily. Very fun. So it should be a good time. And level 1 Sephiroth is also quite a challenge as well. So that'll be cool to do at the very end. And of course, today with me, my commentator is Bandit Yoshi. How's it going?
Yo, it's going good. I'm Bandit Yoshi. I also run this game, mainly the beginner category, but I've messed around with level 1 a little bit, so I'll be helping out with talking about the torture. Or the fun, I mean.
Yeah, it's hard to talk and do these strats at the same time, so for sure, the help is very much appreciated. All right, with that being said, we can just go ahead and get started. Again, it's in Japanese because it's faster, so we got proud mode, I like manual camera, and we don't like vibration. So time will start on the go, which will be 3, 2, 1, go. All right, and this is the PC version, so we have the pleasure of skipping the opening cutscene. Although we all love the song, but for time's sake, it's much better to skip the whole 3-minute and 15 or so second cutscene.
The only versions that allow you to do that are PC and Xbox for some reason.
Yeah.
So at the beginning here, Rye's going to choose the staff and then get rid of shield. Staffs are really important in this category because our MP level is going to matter throughout the entire run, basically. Which will come into play later. We can kind of explain more when we get there, but our strength's already going to be very low since we're playing at level 1, so there's no reason to take the sword to increase our attack stat.
Or defense, since it's already going to be bad too.
True, yeah, no reason to pick shield because we die basically in 2 hits no matter what. So we're just going to go through some tutorial here, killing some shadows. Game just trying to teach you how to play. Nothing too crazy. After this little room, there's going to be a part where some Final Fantasy character is going to be asking you some questions. The questions, the way you answer them determines your experience route. And for level 1, it's very important that you choose all of the bottom options, which is, I think it's called Dawn route, right? Or Dusk.
Yeah, it's Dusk, I believe.
Dusk. Which makes you level up slower for your first 50 levels. But if we choose any of the other EXP routes, we'll actually level up to level 2 before we can turn EXP 0 on. So Rye's got to make sure to choose the bottom options so that we don't level up before.
I was very terrified that I was going to end up accidentally spamming and picking the wrong option. It's like a guaranteed reset.
Yeah, the game doesn't let you access your menu at all until after this tutorial fight that's coming up. So kind of a weird quirk of the game to allow level 1, but you have to specifically know to choose that EXP route. Pretty good Shadows fight.
Yeah, not too bad.
So now after here, now we can access our menu. You'll see Rye equip EXP 0 right away. That way we do not level up during this next fight.
Another good thing about level 1 is because we don't really level up, we don't really get too many abilities in this game. So the menus are far less complicated than other categories because we don't really equip anything.
Yeah, you don't unlock any abilities or anything, just accessories and stuff like that you have to change. So this fight we're gonna purposely die because it's much faster than actually killing Darkseid.
Another
Shadows
good
would be a
thing with
little...
level 1.
Yeah.
Death abusing.
So we're gonna run around Destiny Islands now. This is kind of like the segment of the run where there's not much going on. You're just kind of like doing chores, getting ready for the game to actually start. Some nice
We're gonna build
tricky
our
platforming
raft.
fun. Yeah.
Well, if you have a second while you're doing your chores, we do have one donation that kind of came in between runs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
So Mocha, who just did Pokemon Scarlet for us, said that he would be donating $2.50 for every Pokemon hit. Well, they didn't hit any Pokemon, but they went ahead and donated $5 anyway and said, well, I didn't hit any Mons. Here's $500 of medical debt taken care of. And if you're confused as to where we came up with the $500, every dollar donated to this event results in $100 of medical debt being eliminated. Because the way that RIP Medical Debt, the organization that we're raising money for, works is they purchase medical debt like a for-profit debt collection agency would, but instead of hunting down people and hounding them to pay their debts, they just throw it in the trash can. And it has a 100 times impact on donations. So if you are able, please do consider donating. Every little bit really does make a huge difference.
Yeah, it's awesome. Makes a dollar seem far more valuable.
Yeah, if only it worked like that in general.
Yeah. Only a dollar could take care of $100 of my own any kind of debt.
So now we're just going into weird caves collecting mushrooms as one does. Normal activity here.
We need all these supplies for a very long raft adventure that we're going to take to get off this island.
2 logs, a seagull egg for a snack.
Some mushrooms.
Yeah, a few mushrooms. A rope.
All the standard, standard utility.
Here's the infamous Ryeguy race that everyone remembers being tortured with as a child. You'll see Rye absolutely destroy Ryeguy. I guess I shouldn't assume. Something could go wrong.
Yeah, don't jinx it beforehand. You could set up some booby traps. It's funny because that little platform that breaks off, I used to like purposely make him fall just out of spite, of, like making him lose. And that's what I get for saying that, is falling off the tree. But it's actually slower because like no matter how fast you actually beat Ryeguy, like it'll make you wait for him to catch up. So it's actually slower to like make him take longer because you'll be waiting longer at the end.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. You don't actually have to do this race like perfect because you have to wait for Ryeguy to get to a certain point anyway. So like falling off the tree there, I don't even think we'll lose you anytime.
Yeah, because as you saw, as soon as we jumped up on the platform, the cutscene just ended like immediately.
Yeah.
Where normally if you go faster, you'll like kind of stand there for a couple seconds waiting for him to catch up.
Collect some coconuts here.
Very good.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
About as good as you want them. The first like big RNG element of the game. You could sit there and swing forever and the other yellow one won't come out.
Yeah, you'll be on like a really good pace, and it's like, hey, you don't need those 10 seconds, right?
If you want, we could try to explain damage storage now while we're kind of downtime.
That is a great point. Yeah, so one thing that we haven't even mentioned at all is on level 1, with the EXP 0 ability, we don't really know if it was intended or exactly what the devs were thinking, but there's a weird result of equipping EXP 0, and that's if you do, so Sora's combos have regular attacks, and his last attack of a combo is called a finisher. If you do if you end your combat with a finisher on a Heartless, that activates something that we call damage storage, which means all your magic and summons will do finisher damage, like almost multiplied damage to any enemy with a full health bar or more, which is going to come into play not really early in the run, but once we get to, what is it, like Agrabah, and like after that, we're gonna be using damage storage everywhere to absolutely just destroy everything. So if you've ever seen like a level 1 run, we'll use damage storage to, for example, like the Chernobog fight, we'll just use like Mushu to kill him in like 10-15 seconds. Whereas in like the other categories, that fight takes a very long time, so that'll be coming into play later in the run, which would be very cool to see. So this Dark Side 2, same guy that we let kill us at the beginning of the run. Really tight fight right here. That was perfect. Yeah, Ryan made that look really easy, but making sure you hit all those orbs into the arm is very, very hard.
Yeah, a lot of the times I'll get stuck under his hand at the beginning.
Yeah.
I was able to get it all off, but yeah, it's definitely takes a lot to get used to.
And if you don't kill him in time, you just have to like sit there and wait for him to throw his arm back down.
Yeah, and it is still very easy to die there too, especially to the orbs. If you like kind of get out of the rotation, it's a little chaotic. There's like a rhythm to it, but once you mess it up, it's kind of hard to recover it.
Yeah.
And we'll pretty much die in 2 hits to anything in this entire run, so hopefully we won't see many deaths, but it's very, very, very possible at pretty much any time. Hello.
So here we're gonna kill. So weird thing about the game is if you kill 5 shadows, go to the accessory shop, and then leave the accessory shop, that will start the Leon fight right away. Alternatively, you could like go through certain doors, like explore Traverse Town, go through specific areas, and then trigger the actual continuation of the story. But if we just kill 5 shadows, go to the shop and leave, we can very quickly get to the next part of Traverse Town.
Another death abuse here. We're gonna just let Leon kill us because trying to kill him will take forever. Nice. We like the fireball because it's much faster. But we try to get hit by a shadow before we go into the cutscene, because otherwise he'll take 2 hits to kill us. But if we get hit by 1 shadow first and then go in there, he'll kill us in 1 hit.
Yeah, it's been so long since I've done it the other way. Like, I forget. Like, if you trigger all the Donald Goofy cutscenes, do you still fight Leon eventually? I think you do, right?
Yeah.
So you saw Rye grabbed an elixir there that we'll use later. A lot of elixirs and mega elixirs that we'll be using during the run.
Yeah, a lot of the early stuff is just gathering supplies for later on. A lot of elixirs and mega ethers and stuff like that we'll need. Because MP is like pretty much our only tool here. Except for right now, because we don't have any yet.
Here's like the pre-guard armor fight, so just gonna kill all these soldiers. Hope that Donald and Goofy help us out a little bit.
Oh, Goofy left his man.
Yeah, Goofy likes to leave his job unfinished most of the time. Guard armor here. Basically what we want to do is destroy all the extremities, the limbs here. And just try to destroy the arms while he's knocked down. Nice. That was really good.
That was close.
If you can't destroy his limbs, like, as he's doing that animation, he does, like, another, like, separate animation that takes quite a while, so skipping that's pretty big. I don't think Goofy used the ether, which will be nice for later.
So. For some reason, like, he never does in this category. I'm not sure why. Like, I've been running it pretty consistently for the last, like, month or so, and he's never once thrown it. Which is weird because Donald uses much more of his magic than other categories, and
Yep.
Goofy will throw the ether like very easily on other categories, but for some reason on level 1 he won't. Maybe because he like throws potions instead. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird.
See Rye doing a menu here in a sec. Let me grab Goofy's ether. Equip dodge roll. It takes Donald and Goofy's potions as well for later. And then change Goofy and Donald to use their HP and MP items immediately, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Okay.
Just mainly like for, again, like later in the game, because we're going to give them MP items to kind of help us out in the fight, so we want them to throw that stuff like immediately. No wait times. And even still like that, sometimes they like to wait. And since nobody got hurt at all, actually, because they all still had all of their items, which is another good thing. You want to try not to get hurt too much in the beginning. I did not customize my ship. Let me do that.
That's a very
It's going to take
amount of
very
times
long.
I've done that. Yeah, so a weird thing about this game that I didn't know until I started running this game is that the gummy ship actually has like a weight value that determines its speed. So at the beginning of the run, we just destroy the ship, take its parts off, and then just put an engine and gun on it. And that way it is much faster than it would be with all its parts on.
Yeah, I really wouldn't have. I was going to just like let it go, but it would have taken so long.
It's,
Really worth it to
dramatically
just
slower.
Yeah, pretty much through any gummy mission, you could, if there's any donations or anything, you can definitely get them out.
It's like this category and Proud, you have to be pretty careful on the gummy ships. For the most part, they're pretty chill, but if you're not paying attention, you can die in like 2 hits in a lot of places.
Yeah, same as if you're on the ground. And it's like, especially like if you hit any of these walls or anything, they'll kill you in 1 hit. Or these big boulders, whatever they're called.
Yeah, whatever
rocks.
those space algae rock things.
Yeah, most of the beginning is pretty chill still, even on level 1. Guard armor is probably like the first place that you could potentially die because the soldiers are a little rough, and even guard armor himself can be annoying to deal with. There's a couple spots too, again, that can be a little tricky. Just try not to get hit too bad, but once we get into like the mid-game stuff, it's going to really like ramp up pretty heavily. Little suckers here, shoot these missiles that come back at you.
Yeah, like those tricky... those, when I was first running this category, the amount of times I died to those.
Yeah, because they will kill you.
So here, now we're going to use another Death Abuse on Sabor when we land on Deep Jungle. Another one of those fights that's just easier to die on. And there's no reason to, there's no like experience to be gained from killing her, so.
Yeah, and she jumps around a whole lot, so it's definitely not fun to try to actually kill her.
Yeah.
At least here, when we don't have to. Oh, nice whiff.
Come on, Sabor. Actually weird, like pushed you away.
Yeah, thought it was in a
It
good
didn't
spot.
hit you.
There's even strategy to death abusing.
Dying is hard. We have a small menu here. We're gonna steal Tarzan's stuff, his potions, and then I forget what abilities you turn off, but basically what you're turning Tarzan into is a healing machine.
Yeah, he's
You
got
want
a
to get rid of
couple
his
of
other
like
abilities.
attacks, and he's got like a shield and stuff like that. But yeah, we pretty much only want him to heal.
He's got like a special attack that like launches enemies across the room, and really don't want that to happen. You want him to use his MP for healing both you and Donald. Which he doesn't like to heal you. We want him to, but it seems like he really tries not to. But maybe he'll be nice. if we need them.
We have time for a quick donation.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Excellent. We have $10 from Mystic Peanut Butter, who wants to know if this is effectively $1,000. And to answer your question, yes. Yes, it is. Which means we have effectively eliminated $23,000 in medical debt so far in our event. For reference, if anyone is feeling competitive, our previous 2 events have both eclipsed $1,000 raised, which translates to $100,000 in medical debt eliminated. So that's the number we are chasing, and we've got the rest of today plus Friday and Saturday to hit it. So if you've got any loose change rattling around in your pockets, this would be a good place to put it.
That's awesome. Thanks so much for that donation, Mystic.
That's perfect timing, because now we're going to be heading into the Power Wild fights, which are very RNG heavy segment. We're going to hope that they group up nicely and that we use I will use his spells or his thunder at good times.
Yeah, this is the next spot that can be pretty easy to die if you're not careful. They're very sporadic. And it's like they were purposely programmed to dodge you perfectly. Like, they're the most stubborn, heartless in here. Anytime you think you're about to go hit them with a swing, they move. And they jump around. And it's always, like, perfectly timed.
Before they made this game, they spent like 100 years studying human psychology to make it so that Power Wilds knew like how to trick you at every turn. It's basically one of those segments of the run it's different every single time. Basically never the same.
There we go. Thankfully Tarzan was on that heal. But yeah, see, just getting like randomly slapped by one of them and I'm basically almost dead.
Unfortunately, we don't have Cure yet, so our only hope of healing right now is Tarzan or using potions from our inventory.
Thank you, Donald.
What a legend.
Ooh, see, that was very close. Oh, man.
You have to be like surprisingly careful around. Yeah. That's scary.
Trying not to die here.
Yeah, this is the case of Tarzan had MP and I think he healed himself instead.
Alright.
It's one of those segments of the run where it's like you want to play, it's like you want to go fast, but you also have to play safely, otherwise it's extremely easy to die. But next we'll be actually fighting Sabor this time instead of letting her kill us. This fight is pretty tricky and scary, so we'll see how it goes. But basically, I want to be using a mix of full hit combos and your thunders.
Dang it.
Yeah, it's really hard. Her hitbox is like very short. It's hard to hit her where you want to. So what we try to do is like get her stuck in the corner. That way we can just keep infinitely looping combos and thunders, but it's extremely hard to make that happen every time. Overall, that wasn't too bad. Besides the jumping into the jungle, but
Yeah, she only went in there once, so could have been worse. She didn't hit us at all either, which is also another scary place to die. It's another spot that, like, usually for some reason Tarzan will not heal you.
yeah,
I don't know why.
feel the frame one pause on the mini game right there.
It made up for it.
So yeah, or Rye actually used what you can do is use the vines to get to a mini game, and then if you start the mini game and exit, it'll warp you to the next section of the vines, and then you can get up here faster than actually getting there yourself. It's next we're gonna fight Clayton. First, there's like a little mini fight you have to do, and then you get to the actual fight with Stealth Sneak, the big chameleon. And Rye will be using a combination of 2-hit combos on Clayton and the chameleon to build up his MP to use as many thunders as he can. And then also trying not to die. So right there you saw Rye do 2 3-hit combos right at the beginning of the fight. That's something called animation skip, which skips about like 10 seconds of Clayton doing an animation, like getting ready, where you can't like actually do anything to him. Now Rye's gonna do 2-hit combos and a bunch of thunders. Tarzan luckily actually healing this time. There you go. It's really hard to keep Clayton in that spot with everything going on, and then sometimes you can't hit Clayton because the chameleon's blocking you, and then Clayton can apparently jump like 70 feet in the air.
Yeah.
So you kind of just have to sit there and like wait for a sec. So you're gonna be grabbing some items that we're just gonna sell later for money.
Alright.
Waterfall
Jungle's
Cavern, jump first try.
definitely a very stressful world in the beginning.
It's hard to do that world fast and not lose a lot of time because it's really easy to die. And all the fights are just very RNG and position heavy. This is an excellent time if anyone has any any donations, because we're gonna be on the gummy ship for quite a while. So you gotta go back to, or no, actually we go to Wonderland.
Yeah.
I'm in beginner mind right now. Never mind.
Normally, once you're done Deep Jungle and Beginner, you would go straight back to Traverse Town, but we haven't been to Wonderland yet on this category.
You can see how much beginner has ruined my brain. In beginner, you do Wonderland first, then Deep Jungle, and then you go from Deep Jungle back to Traverse Town, and you don't even go to Olympus. So.
Thankfully, Wonderland's a bit of a breeze after Deep Jungle. It's pretty quick, and there's not too much chaos. Now we have Cure after Deep Jungle too, so we kind of have a little bit more of a fail-safe if we end up getting hit or almost dying or anything.
Yeah, Crank Tower is like probably the only place in the world where you kind of worry about dying, but
Yeah.
if you're just careful, it's pretty chill.
And for now, since our HP isn't like increasing or anything, a cure will fully heal us. Later on, it becomes not very viable because it won't get us to full health. And if we're not at full health, then we will die in one hit. Even if it's like one little tiny sliver off, like we have to be at full HP to be able to take that second hit, otherwise we'll die.
Luckily, there's kind of like a built-in like second chance with level 1. If you're at full HP, you can't die in one hit. It'll always leave you at least 1.
Yeah. Level 1 definitely has some perks over the other categories, despite it, you know, being level 1, you would think it's the worst, but there's some good things about it.
There's actually some fights that are a lot easier in this category.
Yeah, the damage storage is really huge, especially like we don't really use it much early, but a lot of the boss fights later on, they'll be heavily abused.
Here we gotta collect an evidence box for the trial. You can like casually go and get all the evidence boxes before you start the next part of Wonderland. That'll get you, I think, Blizzard early. But we don't really need that. We're just gonna collect the one box.
I don't know if I'm gonna be right.
Yeah, so this, there's 5 boxes. One of them has, there's one quote-unquote correct one, which has the Heartless in it, which Rye got. If you choose the wrong one, then Goofy or Donald will get locked up during the fight, and you'll have to watch like an extra 2-second cutscene. But luckily Rye got the Heartless there. So this is Crank Tower. It's a really weird fight. You actually don't want to like hit it as fast as possible. We purposely do our combos slow. Because the way the wheels work, if you hit them too fast, they won't actually take all the damage. You have to like wait for their animation of spinning to stop. That's why Rye was doing some slow combos right there to destroy all the wheels. That was actually a pretty good fight too.
Yeah, I'll take that. It definitely gets chaotic. Because for some reason, Crank Tower is like one of the worst designed fights in this game.
Yeah.
It's like you have to hit it in a certain way or you won't be able to target the actual tower. So then, like, if you don't hit it quick enough, once all the wheels break, then you're like kind of trying to jump around in circles, you need to like target a card and then go on the other side of the tower to start hitting it, that you're able to target it and then destroy it. Like, it's a mess.
Yeah. When Sora swings, it like tries to find the first thing that he can lock onto. And if you haven't hit like the tower yet, it won't have a lock on. And so Sora will try to swing at the cards instead. And it's just gross. So you saw Rye collected like an elixir in the I don't know what that room's called, the unbirthday place.
I forget what it's called too, actually. It's not the Bizarre Room, it's like something before it. Tea Party Garden, actually. I think that's it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that sounds right.
Makes sense. That's where all the teas and the parties are at.
That's where I'd like to party.
Yeah. Party hard in the woods.
So here we're going to do a mix of when Trickmaster gets knocked down doing 3-hit combos, and then when he stands up doing hits into thunders. And then basically just rinse and repeat, keep knocking Trickmaster down and doing combos, doing thunders. Trickmaster walks away, it's really hard to knock it down. Luckily, they stopped walking there.
Yeah, it gets real sketchy there.
That's pretty good.
It's okay if he like walks over to destroy the chair or the table, but if he starts walking over to like the furnace, then it's like really, then you could die there too.
Yeah.
Alright, that's essentially all the beginning worlds now. We just have to go back to Traverse Town again to do some stuff there. Before heading off to the oh so lovely mid-game.
The really peaceful Agrabah.
Yeah. Thankfully this gummy mission has a spot where you can kind of chill. For a little bit anyway.
Yeah. In beginner, you can just go in the corner for the entire gummy mission. Unfortunately for category, you can sit there for like half of it and then you have to like move, otherwise you'll die in one hit. Thank you. Yeah, so if you do run beginner in this category, there's a lot of built-in bathroom breaks on these gummy ships.
Yeah, this is a good one. Sadly, on level 1, you can get right about here, and then if you keep going and hit that wall, you'll die, so you have to avoid it. Whereas beginner, you can just kind of tank everything. Alright, time for some more chores pretty much. Just run around here, we gotta do... There's a lot of people.
You kind of go around doing you gotta do like a bunch of like progression based events that you have to get through to progress to Agrabah. You go talk to Leon. Leon's gonna give us an item that lets us summon Simba later. And then head to Merlin's and then have like 70 conversations with Sid.
Yeah. Here's Leon with all of his belts.
I actually, someone told me how many he has. I forget how much it is, but it's like somewhere around like 17 belts or something like that.
Yeah. Man's pants are never coming off.
Lots of zippers. What's nice is if you do run this in English, you do like this, you do half of this world earlier, because there's a glitch that lets you get into that sewer. That's English only. And then so you kind of like get half of it out of the way and then do the other half later. Unfortunately on JP we have to do it all in one go, which can kind of be, you know, if you're sitting down for like 8 hours of attempts, it can kind of be draining doing this section, but that air soldier was really mad at you.
Yeah. Haven't been hit by that one in a while, so hopefully at least the one on the way back won't hit me. Hopefully. Yeah, this area can be a bit of a snooze, especially like in the speed run. It's kind of like a nice calm before the storm, but at the same point it's also like it almost kind of lulls you to sleep because there's no combat or anything, so it's kind of easy to like make a mistake here, at least in like, or as far as like the speed run goes. I've done it many times where you just kind of like zone out because you're not really doing anything too intense, and then
Yeah.
you lose a lot of time.
I've had it where I've like warped to the wrong place on the gummy ship because I didn't think I did it yet, but I already did.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
Missing one of the rock jumps.
Here's Merlin and his assistant, the fairy godmother. I don't know if she's his assistant, but she's here. hanging out too. There are very helpful friends in this run, because the Fairy Godmother gives us all of our summons, and Merlin will give us that Spellbinder Keyblade later on, so we'll be visiting here quite frequently.
I wonder what they like do all day, just sitting there.
Just hang out. They're never actually there until we show up.
Like Fairy Godmother just sitting in her corner, just waiting.
Wonder when they'll come next.
So here in a sec, you'll see Rye sell most of his items to Sid. We need 1,250 money to buy some gummy ship pieces that'll make the gummy ship faster. We'll keep the important items like the elixirs and mega ethers and stuff like that.
Well, sure.
Oh wow, 1219.
Yeah, it's like the lowest I've been in a while. Yeah, so we sell the items that we picked up in the Waterfall Cavern, and then we sell all of our accessories too, because again, our strength does not matter really at all in this category, so we never really equip any accessories other than those that give us better MP, which we don't have any at this point. So we sell all that stuff, we keep all of our consumables like potions and ethers and all that stuff, and then hope we get enough money. I do not have enough right now, so I'm gonna have to sell some of the gummy ship, like extra gummy ship pieces to Sid to make up the difference.
We do not have the 100 times multiplier money RIP debt hack in this game.
Yeah, that would have helped here. Sometimes we'll get lucky and pick up like, you know, like an extra accessory here, or even some extra potions. Or after the Crank Tower fight, I'll try to run around and gather some money there too to get us a little bit closer to the 1250 mark. I guess I didn't do a good enough job this time because I'm pretty low. Not that big of a deal, but definitely lower than I'm usually.
I always agree with Donald during that cutscene. He's like tapping his foot. He's like, "When are we done here?"
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I
Done
feel
with
you, man.
all this chit chat, running around doing errands for people. We took the book from Merlin to give to Sid in the shop, and then Sid ends up like right outside of Merlin's place anyway. So it's kind of just like, why do they got this kid running around town doing all their chores for him?
Classic video game trope.
Yeah. Let alone a stranger. You don't really know this kid. And here's Sid again. We just saw him and now he's already here. Master of teleportation.
There's gotta be like some creepy pasta out there, how there's like 7 different Sids. They're all different.
Yeah.
Like a collective hive mind of Sids.
Everywhere.
Right, so bought those gummy pieces, we're gonna equip them right away. And now we'll have access to a boost now where if you hold square, get a nice boost or whatever you want to call it.
Yep, we got a faster engine. Now we have haste. Gives us a small little boost there. And then we're also able to now warp the world as well that we've already visited. So warp to Wonderland and then go to this warp portal, because despite what the map looks like, it's actually closer going to Wonderland first.
It's
Now
kind
we're
of part of the
starting
run where things are gonna ramp up.
Yeah. Agrabah is like the beginning of the chaos. Even this gummy mission is not very cool because there's like the big like dreadnought ships that they fly in from behind you, and if they hit you, you'll die in one hit. Thankfully, I think I'm good now to where I won't get hit by it. But see, this guy flies past you over here, and then they'll come up behind you. If you stay up in this corner, they'll miss you right there. But if you're kind of like flying in the middle, they'll kind of creep up on you, and if you're in a bad spot, they'll just run right into you and you're dead, and you gotta start over again.
kind of cool seeing like every runner has their own little like manipulations to make sure you don't get killed in one hit.
Yeah, I wasn't exactly sure like what to do there for a while. I was just trying my best to avoid them when they would show up, and then I watched somebody else. I think it was Violin's run. I watched him go up in that little corner, so I've been doing that ever since, and it's pretty consistent.
I've never actually seen that one.
Yeah. It's like the one thing you don't really think about in the level 1s. You're like worried about all these crazy boss fights and wild strats, but it's like gummy missions can matter too. Some of them. Agrabah's a bit of a boss rush too, so we do a little bit of stuff in the beginning here, and then it's pretty much like 4 bosses back to back.
Yep.
And they are rough.
So this next fight we call Save Aladdin. In this category, it's actually this category in Proud is very straightforward because we just use Simba to call the bandits. Grab some items here. Grabbed a Mega Elixir, and now he's grabbing a Mega Ether. You have to be a little bit careful with Simba here. You want to make sure they spawn in 2 waves of 5. You want to make sure you don't release Simba's power before, like if there's 4 up, but the 5th one's still spawning. You want to make sure that 5th one comes up.
The second wave, they can kind of take their time coming up. There might be like 1 left over that spawns really late, and then you gotta fight them on your own. And we don't like that. Like that.
Yeah, that one was really late.
Really late. I didn't even see his, like he wasn't even in the ground yet.
I probably would have done the same thing you did because they all spawn in like the same spot. It's like, oh, there's probably 5 there.
Yeah. But well.
It could be way worse. It could have spawned like further away and
it was a good example of what we were talking about.
Yeah. No, Rye, thank you for providing that example. It's perfect. I really haven't mentioned it yet, but we use a lot of gummy warps in this run, where instead of like actually walking to the place, we just warp with the gummy ship. It's much faster. Here we're gonna steal all Aladdin's items, change our Keyblade to Jungle King from Deep Jungle. Aladdin's very useful in this world because of his damage. Pretty good Bizarre Room.
Yeah, that was good.
Sora's gonna put his key into this in the wrong position, open up the door to Pot Centipede. This is probably one of the scariest fights in the run. Very easy to die, and you basically cannot expect anything to go the same ever.
Yeah, this is heavy RNG in this fight as to what he does, and it's very easy to die. I'm hoping I get some good stuff here, but it's very awful.
His head and tail can hit you out of nowhere. His antennas, there's pots flying across the entire room.
Like that one.
Be very careful. What you want Pot Centipede to do is get enough pots to group up and then form a line.
A little close.
And then start walking away. That way you can do some air combos as he's walking around. That was really fast.
He got 1 pot too many, but as long as he keeps doing this, I don't really care. And he did not.
Yeah, optimally you want...
It's like the worst room for him to break.
Yeah, it's so small. If he's got 2 or less pots, you can actually hit both the head and the tail at the same time. You get double damage. But kind of up to the game whether or not it gives you.
Wow, look at this long line of pots.
Yeah,
crap, dude.
damn. And the AI for Pot Centipede's pretty weird, like, All the pots are super separated right now. The tail's not even close. Nice, okay.
Alright, not the best fight, but I mean, we didn't die or get hurt, so it's alright. Ideally, you want to try to get him to reform with only 2 pots, because then you'll be able to hit both the front and the back at the same time with the finishers, so you'll do a lot more damage. But I mean, just not dying there in general is pretty cool. So
yeah, it was relatively peaceful. I'm gonna equip Ray of Light. Give us more MP, I believe.
yeah, it's gonna make our thunder stronger, because the more MP we have, the more damage our spells do. So at this point, even with the extra MP, our thunder spell actually does as much damage as a finisher on its own. So
Just Tiger Head Rise gonna be trying to do combos that his finisher ends when those lasers are coming out to hit him back into the eye. Trying to use a mix of spells and hits here, since we can't really do combos. This fight's really scary because those lasers can hit you, but mainly the bandits on the ground can come up and really mess up the fight. Luckily they're being relatively peaceful. Yeah, that was pretty good. Pot Centipede and that fight back to back is one of this category's like most evil things.
yeah.
But luckily that was relatively peaceful.
Yeah, thankfully, like, the longer that fight takes, the worse it's gonna be. So you definitely want to try to get as many of those parries off as possible. Because towards the end there, they will start, the bandits will start flying up at you, and then it's GG. And if you fall off the head, it's like basically game over. It's gonna be madness.
Yeah. You've got all the enemies flying at you, it's really hard to get back onto the head. And you can just get hit off, even if you're doing everything correctly, you can just get launched off for no good reason. I'm doing a nice jump here to grab that elixir. This next fight is Jafar, so Rye's gonna try to 2-cycle on Jafar, so he's gonna go up to this platform. Gonna try to not over damage him. If you over damage him, you can kind of mess up the cycle.
It's like our first little use of damage storage there with all the fires. They all did the same amount of damage as a finisher, so...
So all these fires, since Rye ended his last comment on a finisher, all these fires are doing finisher damage. Unfortunately, we can't see the health bars because we don't have scan, because it is level 1, but if we were able to see the health bar, you could see that the fires were doing a lot of damage.
I was trying to get a little bit more MP for this next fight, but it just didn't go that way. I wanted to get the kill instead of, like, otherwise I thought he was going to get away.
Right, yeah. So ideally you want a lot of blizzards. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Griff.
We're gonna be hitting Iago, the lamp right here. Build up our MP. This fight can get really awkward because where Iago flies can just be really hard to hit. If you can at this point, ideally you want to be doing as many blizzards to a Genie Jafar over here as you can.
Ow. Didn't hear that coming.
That was scary. Had me sweating there for a sec.
Yeah, me too. I didn't hear him revving up for that boulder. I had no idea it was coming. Ideally, we want Iago to kind of like stay put as long as possible in the beginning there so we can get as much combos off on him before doing the blizzards, because hopefully we would kill Genie Jafar when all the blizzards are done, but we were a few short, so probably didn't help that I didn't have much going into the fight either.
There in the cave flying minigames, if you just die, it sends you out and doesn't make you redo it, so we purposely die there just to end it.
Even with level 1, like most of the time the priority is just not dying. It's
Yeah.
usually you'll save more time over like doing super precise strats than you would if you were to just like die going for crazy fast strats. Unless you're going for like world record or something, in which case then you probably gotta do everything.
You kind of you have to be a mix of risky and not stupid.
Yeah.
Like you have to know when to take the risks. To answer your question in chat, like the basic premise of damage storage is as long as like if you end your combo on a finisher, your magic or summons will do finisher damage.
Yeah, and that goes for pretty much all the spells. So you're gonna see, like on Jafar, we always want to make sure, or anything, we make sure we do the 3-hit combo and get the finisher out, and then all the fires that we spam after that are all doing the same amount of damage as that finisher did. So it's basically like stacking a bunch of finisher damage like on top of each other. And it's used a lot with fire because you can spam fire like faster than the other spells. And then it's also used like for the stop spell, it increases its duration like double time, so the enemy will stay stopped twice as long if you do it with a finisher. And then also, like Bandayoshi said, with the summons, their damage is also like finisher based. So the best example is like Mushu, because he like does this like spitfire, like machine gun like thing of fire spells, and each one of those is damage equal to a finisher. So it's like a chain barrage of finisher damage. So it's like ridiculous. You can only do it with EXP 0, so it's a wild ability or kink with the game.
Yeah, we don't know. Like they've never like talked about. Like, Square Enix has never really mentioned anything about it, so we don't know like what their exact thought process was behind it, or if it was on purpose or some unintentional effects that they didn't realize would happen. It's really interesting, and there's a lot of like developments in this category and just understanding how it works as of late.
Yeah, it definitely makes this. It's pretty much like the crux of this category and what makes it so interesting. It's just this whole crazy concept of this damage storage stuff. And even with the stop, like you want to make sure that you end the stop like with a finisher, because otherwise all the damage, like for example, later on we're going to be doing it on one of the bosses where we're trying to do a stop loop and then we're doing, you know, combos in the air and stuff, but you want to make sure that your combos end on the finisher before the boss or whoever gets let out of the stop, because then every hit that you did while the enemy was stopped is doing finisher damage. So it's like if you do 9 hits, it'll be 9 finishers compared to you only actually put out 3.
A nice Chamber 3 skip.
Thank you.
A nice thing about EXP02 is it doesn't have to be level 1 where you can utilize it. The regular Proud any percent category, which doesn't equip EXP0 until later in the run. Like even though you're at level 40 in the 40s towards the end of the game, you still equip EXP0 and then utilize damage storage. since some of the fights are just way faster with it equipped. This is Parasite Cage 1. You kind of want to... You can get this boss stuck in a stagger loop. Unfortunately, the party kind of messed it up there. So Rye ended his combo on a finisher there, and now he's going to just send fires until PC1 is dead.
And not much you can do there when the party just is all going ham on it, and then it you can't stagger it anymore. Just kind of like hope that they don't do that.
Yeah. An otherwise perfect fight messed up by the party. Classic Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. Poor guys.
They're just trying to help, but
Yeah.
Rye's gonna collect high jump from this chest here. So I believe you equip high jump there, and then is it cheer on Goofy or?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, cool. A little rusty with the menus.
Yeah, and the cheer ability helps with the summons as well. We definitely need as many of those as possible.
It's kind of a rehash of the fight we just did. We want to keep Parasite Cage 2 in a stagger loop. And then when he opens up here, mainly your party's kind of responsible for getting him into this state, but you send damage torch fires into that little orb there. Uvula or whatever it is. Luckily, towards the middle and end of the fight, your party's most likely dead, so they can't really mess with anything anymore.
That wasn't too bad. Just got hit the one time. There's a way you can like kind of stagger him when he gets back up, but it's pretty tight.
Yeah, it's a little scary. So that was Monster. It's one of the shorter worlds in this run. You get in and get out really quick. Monster's gonna like shoot us out back towards Agrabah, and then we're gonna go back into Monstro to grab Water Gleam, which is the item we're gonna use later to get Dumbo. And Dumbo will be extremely useful later.
Monstro is like a nice little chill world in between all the madness of mid-game too. Not very long. Kind of reminds me of Wonderland. It's pretty short, only like 2 bosses, and it's pretty straightforward.
You go from Agrabah, which is just kind of all over the place. You chill there for a little bit, and then you get sent right back into chaos with Halloween Town.
Yeah. Halloween Town is home to like one of the other worst boss fights in this category, or even, you know, like any Proud category too, for that matter. Thankfully, this gummy mission has a sweet spot too, where we don't get hit by anything. Not very long, unfortunately, so you can't really do much, but at least you don't have to worry about getting killed.
Yeah. You take a sip of water during this part.
Yeah.
Perhaps a Coca-Cola or Pepsi product.
Your drink of choice, or maybe eat a snack.
Yeah.
Like a quick bite. Probably not the whole snack, because we're already here.
Yeah. Put the snack down.
On the game.
A little fun trick here. Shoutouts to Majoris. If you just like jump at this wall, it'll trigger like the cutscene. Normally, it, like wants you to like walk up to that spot and like actually, you know, explore a little bit, but it would just jump at the fence. Triggers it pretty quickly.
If you're not familiar with the story, they're like doing experiments on the Heartless, trying to make them friendly, like for their Halloween parade. That's why you'll see them all kind of chilling there in the beginning, and they don't attack you, and then they screw it up, and then they start attacking you. Thanks a lot, Doc.
Everybody's gonna take Jack's items and replace them with healing, and then equip Sora with a full stock of ethers.
Now they're angry.
Few heartless mobs you have to kill here.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, I don't. It's always fun. I don't even know like how that happens sometimes. That was weird. Like launched you into the cutscene really fast.
Yeah, I didn't even see the last one die. Alright, that was a little unplanned, but we actually ended up with more MP out of it in the end anyway, so it'll be a blessing in disguise.
It was planned.
Yeah.
Rye just doesn't want to talk about it.
I definitely don't.
All part of the master plan.
That was pretty rough.
It's like one of those worlds where we kind of like have to go back and forth, go to like the same room, do something, come back, rinse and repeat 3 times. See if we get mushrooms here or not.
Yep.
We did get mushrooms. So this room has 2 options. You either get stuck with these mushrooms or actual Heartless that you have to kill. Getting the Heartless spawns faster, I believe, but the truffles can kind of mess you up.
3, 2, 5. Yeah, so normally getting the mushrooms isn't like that bad on level 1 because it'll let you get your MP back and you'll be kind of free to use. You'll usually have an extra ether on you, but I already had like MP, so I didn't really need it, but now we definitely don't need to use another ether.
It's like one of those rooms where it's iffy, like even in other categories. Sometimes getting the mushrooms is like just as fast if you get like good RNG and execute it well. But sometimes it can just be utter chaos.
And there's one more little spot for RNG here. When we try to go back to Moonlight Hill, there's a chance that we could get the Black Fungus Heartless, which take forever to kill, so you always have to like leave the room and come back if they do end up spawning. And it obviously takes more time if they do show up, so we hope that they don't. And they did.
Of course, yeah. So you have to leave the room, come back to force the Heartless to spawn.
Thankfully we had the extra MP, so not too bad.
Yeah.
Alright,
That
now
next thing
comes LSB. Lock, Shock, and Barrel, and it is easily one of the worst fights in this game because it is so chaotic. The room is very small, and if like one little thing goes wrong, you can pretty much die very easily.
There's 3 of them. 2 of them have like moves where they go around the room constantly. There's really like no easy places to be.
Yeah, this is one that I definitely hope that I don't show how chaotic it can be. Gonna fill our MP bar up here by hitting this dude. We thank you for your service.
At least you didn't have to die that time. You left him alive.
I did.
We hope they kind of all group around and we start off with Blizzard spam. Refill our MP.
Okay, I did not hear you. I'm dead. Oh.
No. So
They're
close.
pretty much like that.
Rye being kind enough to show an example of how chaotic the fight can be.
Yeah. It didn't give me the best spawn pattern. I thought I was going to be able to manage it, but Barrel kind of snuck up on me there that one time, and the party was dead. It's also like the one downside of not having that, or having the extra ether, because now I have one less spot for a potion, which would have saved me there, but I didn't have enough. Alright, first death. Hopefully the last. Oh, they're all dead. Alright, cool.
Wow, that was beautiful.
So that's how we hope it goes the first time, but you know, sometimes it just doesn't work that way.
It always goes perfectly the second time without fail.
Yep. I was a little nervous there too because I saw Shock was kind of like coming at me with the little whirlwind thing. I thought she was going to get through, but thankfully she got stunned again. Making myself another potion too, just because.
We're gonna basically like super fill our party with as many healing items as possible for the fight that's after Ogi.
Alright, this is the first instance where we're using damage storage with a summon. We're going to use Genie, and he's going to, if I hopefully do it right, he's going to completely destroy Ogi, like, instantly.
This should be our really good first example of how nuts damage storage can be.
So we made sure to end, we only did one combo on the gargoyles to make sure that we had the damage storage ready to go, and then just use blizzards to kill them. Making sure that both party members are still alive, because if one of them is dead, then we can't use a summon. So now we should be good to go, unless Genie's a little random with his spells. We want him to use specific ones. Some do a lot of damage and some don't do any damage, so we just hope that he does as much as he can.
Kind of looking for like the blue ones to do a lot.
Nice and easy.
Thank you, Genie. Yeah.
Yes, we thank you, Genie. He gets used a few times, and we definitely, it's up to him pretty much whether he wants to kill some things or not, or how fast he does it, so. First
There's a nice segment at the end of the game where you're praying that he does a good job.
And this is the much worse version of Ogi in this category.
Yeah, so
That was a big manor, a big house.
So Ogi's got these boils all over his mansion or whatever is going on here. The first couple we are going to kill, but we're going to do a manipulation here in a second. That makes the fight a lot safer. I'll explain in a sec.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so you see there random fire getting sent from the other side of the map gonna just hit you randomly. So here you'll see Rye. He's actually gonna purposely leave a couple of these alive, because after you destroy a certain amount, it starts like a second phase to the Manor fight where enemies will start spawning and these orbs will start spawning from the center of Oogie that can like poison damage you basically. So Rye's gonna leave both of those alive for now, and this one too. Then we're gonna come back later. If we do kill those right away, the fight gets extremely chaotic and your chances of dying skyrocket, so it's just not even worth doing. That was smart, actually. Nice.
This is why we give the boys potions, so they can do that. And I'm getting demolished. That one's. Oh, I thought that was gonna hit me too, dude. Holy crap! This is why this fight sucks, dude. This is the worst.
These pimples are sending out fires. There's that like lantern in the middle that Oogie's holding that sends out fires. We're gonna destroy that one with fires from far away. Nice. This one, enemies are gonna spawn. We've destroyed enough of them now where they start spawning. So Rye's got to be a little careful here.
Come on, dude, get out of the way.
Blocked your fire well.
Yeah.
Now it's trying to go back and then finish off the ones that we damaged earlier.
Okay. Interesting way to get
Nice.
down there. Alright, yeah, not too bad, thank God. That fight is extremely stressful, as you can see. I got sniped there by a lot of fires, much more than usual, but it's happened. Recently, I was on a pretty good run, and when I was on my way jumping down to that, like the second to last one, I got sniped by a fire in the middle of the air on my way down, and then got hit by a gargoyle like as soon as I landed, and just had to do the whole fight all over again.
No.
But thankfully we didn't die there. Just one death to LSP, it's kind of normal, so it's not the worst.
That was overall, that was very nice. I'm guessing you have hook ship mod on, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, this was like May of last year. That's actually almost a year ago now, wow. The community voted to allow something we call hook ship mod. So basically on this gummy ship mission, the next world that we want to go to is Neverland. And if you haven't beaten Atlantica, or there's like various permutations of what you could have completed, but basically if you haven't beaten enough of the game, Neverland only has a 70% chance of showing up, 30% chance of just not showing up, and you'll just fly to Atlantica instead, which loses about 46 seconds. So we decided as a community to allow hook ship mod, which makes it show up 100% of the time, just because grinding for world records and things like that, while RNG time loss that you have you can't influence it at all as far as we know, just isn't fun. So luckily here we don't have to worry about missing it.
Yeah, it's a big time killer. Especially if you miss it multiple times in a row. Which is possible.
Yeah. Because if you miss it, you go from Atlantica, you try to fly through the same segment again, and then you have to deal with the same gamble. The mod actually tells you if you would have missed it. I wasn't paying attention there, but
Yeah, I wasn't either. I don't think the exclamation point was there, so I think I would have gotten it either way. This world is very rough too.
yeah. It's one of those worlds that's in like every category is chaotic. Movement's hard.
Yeah,
So
this world is very awkward.
Yeah, all the rooms are weird sizes and just so many things going on. This next fight is anti-Sora, so this stop loop that Rai was mentioning earlier is going to come into play. What Rai's going to be trying to do is getting anti-Sora like stuck in a corner and then stopping him and then trying to fit as many 3-hit combos in, ideally 3, and then doing another stop. Keep anti-Sora stuck in this stop loop while also receiving finisher damage from all the hits that he's doing during the fight. It's a very finicky fight. Anti-Sora is very short, like his hitbox is hard to hit consistently, depending on what frame you stop him on. We'll see how it goes. So as you can see, like anti-Sora is like just ducking barely, so it's really hard to hit him. Luckily, Rye's got the loop going now. So stop into 3-hit combos, and his finisher gets in right before the stop finishes. So all his hits get counted as finishers. He's gonna try to keep this loop up as long as possible until he's done enough damage.
Oh, thank
Nice.
God, dude.
Okay. I wasn't sure if that was gonna be enough.
Yeah, me
That was
neither.
good.
It was a little rough, but it worked.
It did the job. That fight, he's got 3 different openings. You want Donald and Goofy to be like as far away as possible, not doing anything. Sometimes the way he opens the fight just makes it really chaotic. That was really, really solid.
Yeah, it gets really bad if he kind of gets like to his later phase. He keeps disappearing. Like you pretty much can't get the loop back after that happens. So
Yeah. We've got some heartless mobs to fight off.
okay, I'll go this way.
Peter's really helpful during this fight. He does a pretty decent amount of damage. It's gonna be 3 waves we're gonna have to fight.
Get him.
Get him, Donald. Let's stop this ship. Do enough gravities and damage to it to kill her right away, because the ships can be very chaotic. A little chaotic, but not too bad.
Yeah. I was trying to kill the second wave on a finisher so that the ship would stop for a longer time. So I was trying to hope that they would go kill that last thing on their own, but they weren't doing it.
Alright, so it can be also a pretty chaotic fight. If there wasn't like a ship going around, it would be relatively consistent, but this fight can kind of be a mess, especially with your party. Got a stop type loop happening here. That ship there can just come in and mess you up a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely did just mess it up pretty good.
Yeah. Because now Hook's AI is not ideally where we want it to be. And the ship just, again,
Just
knocked
ruined
you off.
everything.
Yeah.
This sucks.
Yeah, it's a really good start, and then just this fight can be taken away from you for absolutely no reason.
Love these boxes. Oh my god. Somebody send help, and then I sent them off the edge. Yeah, this is an example of a bad one, and now the ship's gonna shoot a healing orb at him too, making it even worse.
When it hooks in that phase right there where he's like taunting his hook, you can't hit him from the front, so that's why Rye's trying to hit him from the back there.
Right,
This is nice.
Should be good now, yeah.
Yeah. If you can stop hook and the ship at the same time, then you don't have to worry about anything really. Obviously that doesn't happen every time, but... always hook.
Yeah, a little rough. The beginning was rough too, but at least we eventually caught him. But yeah, the ship pretty much dictates how that fight goes, because it'll interrupt your combos with a missile, and then it'll kill your party members, and then they're not doing anything, and then, yeah, it goes like that.
Even like an idea of what the fight's supposed to look like, you can like basically keep hook stopped like the entire time, and like use a thunder manipulation, like keep his AI in like the same spot, and keep your finisher damage storage damage going. But even if you do it perfectly, it can get messed up. Probably gonna grab a gummy piece there in the corner that we'll equip later. Equip Fairy Harp, and Glide.
Back to Traverse Town.
So now we're gonna be fighting opposite armor. This is kind of a fight you can do, like it's unlocked pretty early in the game, but we wait until now to do it, since we have more tools to deal with it.
Yeah, way early in Traverse Town 2, when we deliver Sid the book and you hear that massive explosion and the bell ringing, that's what this was.
Pressing on this bell tower. That was pretty nice.
Oh no.
I don't even...
Alright, whatever.
I don't even know what was
One of
keeping the
blue
menu
ones
red.
must have went off the ledge.
I guess so. It's weird how it didn't respawn.
Yeah, depending, like, so the blue ones and the green ones are bad because they'll fly off the edge. And the blue ones are worse because they'll sink all the way down and then just stay there. And so
Yeah.
you kind of have to hope that they'll despawn. But if they hug the wall, like, enough, you can't get them to despawn, and it's just like a mess. So he must have been down there somewhere. Thankfully, we got to a spot that he despawned, or at least it gave us a blue menu so we could do the rest of it.
Yeah. This is sort of the pre-fight. Have to knock it down to get to the actual fight.
Oh, that was not.
Whereas I'm using a mix of thunders and blizzards here to destroy one of the limbs and knock opposite armor down. Just basically gonna be utilizing your magic as much as possible here. And just being careful about, like, there's certain states where you can't really finish off the limbs or do damage. So just trying to be aware of that. And also try not to die.
What's happening?
not too bad. It's got a little weird in the corner there.
Yeah, I didn't even know like what hit me.
Yeah. Opposite armor can get like stuck, like the limbs can just be like in the walls and you don't even know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
Similar to Oogie, there used to be we used to use Genie on that fight. But lately they're discovered that it's actually just faster to use your thunders and just regular hits and stuff like that. Now Rye's gonna go back to see Merlin here. Get both Dumbo and the Spellbinder Keyblade that we were talking about earlier.
After beating opposite armor, that gave us the last spell that we needed to have all of them, so they'll give us that Keyblade.
Now that we have at least one upgrade of every spell, we can get that from Merlin. Gonna put some new drip on our ship, make it go even faster.
And we got like the third best engine. We like fast ships.
Yep. So a really good speed game for any car heads out there. Any mechanics in chat, you might know a thing or two about what's going on.
The gummy ship specialist. Probably 3D print a gummy ship.
That'd be kind of cool. What if anyone's done that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I just want like fruit snacks that are in the shape of the gummy ship.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool too.
Perhaps a cereal.
Alright, so that's pretty much the main part of like the mid-game area. Starting to head into sort of like late mid-game area, getting closer to the final stuff. This is where we're getting to Hollow Bastion for the first time. It's like another boss rush for the most part. And there's some more damage storage fun, of course.
There is one listing on Etsy for a 3D printed bronze gummy ship.
What? Wow. There you go, folks. Alright, so Riku takes all of her stuff. Including our party members. So now it's just
Wooden
me
sword
and
this
Beast.
creature
Yeah,
following us.
and the wooden sword.
So here, now that we don't really have any of our tools, besides magic. We're gonna rely on Beast a little bit here during this puzzle section.
We took Beast's ethers. Of course, to
Say
take
that like
everybody's
10 times
ethers.
quick.
Yeah, that was rough.
Beast ethers.
And we put stop back on our quick little magic menu there because we're going to be using that on a couple bosses in the middle. Well, actually, even right here too for this Heartless coming up. Beast is not very helpful in this run. Don't really use him at all. Right now he's just kind of here because he has to be. In other categories we like him. He's very helpful, but not in this category. So sorry, Beast.
Yeah, does he
they're
even
all
actually?
useful.
Does he influence
Keep
this
their
next fight?
Uh,
Does he actually help with this Heartless? I forget.
not
Or is
really.
it just your
He's just kind of
gravities?
there. Yeah, it's just the gravities.
I
So
lied to you.
while we stop with damage swords, while we have this, we're gonna stop this defender, and then we're gonna use gravities. Normally, gravity is like a percentage-based attack, but while he's stopped, they do the same amount of damage both times, so he'll die. If you were to do the gravities while he was alive, it would take like 3 or 4 gravities, but because he's stopped, all the damage catches up to him at the end, so it's like 2 like regular damage-based gravities, so it's able to kill him pretty fast. But Beast doesn't really do anything. He's just kind of there. He'll attack
Sorry,
him,
Beast.
so
I hyped you up, but
yeah, we'll give him an A for effort. Oh, never mind. I was gonna say we even lock him back behind that cage, but he can get through it. There's another cool thing about Hollow Bastion that a lot of people don't seem to know all the time. I think you know what I'm talking about.
oh yeah. Did you guys
You
know?
didn't know. You can freeze these bubbles.
Enjoy that one. Everyone at home, go load up your old copy. Send a Blizzard at a bubble. It will make you feel something.
A good feeling. In fact, that bubble right there will let you get up top. There's a little platform up there and a chest that you need to freeze that to get up on. I forget if it's Dalmatians. I forget what's up there, but I think it's Dalmatians.
I don't think it's not Dalmatian. I don't remember what it
Might
is.
not
I
be,
just
I don't know. We have to go up there in Jiminy's journals, so it's something of use. I just forget exactly what it.
Alright, so this fight can be pretty scary, based on what your party does and just Riku as well. But Rai's gonna try to get Riku stuck in this like loop of getting staggered. But we can't use any of our magic here, so we can't like use any like damage storage or anything like that because Riku cannot be affected by magic at all. You gotta be careful because we die in 2 hits. So basically, anytime you get hit, you want to heal right away. Goofy kind of like getting in the way here. Also, Riku kind of in an awkward position. catch up or for you to kill them. And we want to be able to open this chest. Anytime there's enemies around, you can't open chests because there's the red menu indicator. But once they despawn or they're far away enough, you can interact with chests or doors or various objects. And that's gonna be like the last gummy piece that we want to get that we'll equip later. Halfway through the elevator segment, these 3 wizards will spawn.
I'm gonna see if Donald and Goofy can take care of one on their own. Sometimes they can, and sometimes they can't. And I'm gonna put my trust in them.
Let's see.
Oh, all right. Well, Donald. Well, they killed it.
No, that okay. Let's take that.
One disappeared, which I was trying to avoid. Alright, I can't fault them. They took care of their own. Donald might have did it in his own special way, but got it done.
It's kind of funny in other categories. Donald uses stop, and then you just have to wait. It can be kind of excruciating. And those wizards are very annoying because when they disappear, you like can't hit them right away, and if they use thunder, you can't hit them out of it. But get this blue trinity here for nice mega elixir. Some cottages. And up here we're gonna use something called actually we gotta get Royal Crown first.
Yeah, I've been saying it to myself for like the last 5 minutes.
So it's confusing because Proud gets it later, but level 1 gets it now.
This is a commonly forgotten item because it's kind of like out of the way here, and in the other categories we're used to just going right up to the next fight, but you desperately need this item. It's an MP accessory that pretty much, if you don't get it, the next boss fight is going to be, it's just not going to work, so have to get it.
We're going to use something called Dumbo Skip. The skip's like several mob fights and like this little like puzzle section you have to do. So we use Summon Dumbo. We're going to fly Dumbo up as high as possible and then unsummon Dumbo, and then Sora like does a flip and grabs onto that ledge. And then we've skipped a bunch of rooms there in fights. So shoutouts to Dumbo.
Thank you, Dumbo.
Thank you, Dumbo. So this next fight's Maleficent. We're gonna fight her once, and then we're gonna fight her again in dragon form. This fight can be a little finicky. I'll try to get her stuck in a stop loop with finisher damage going off. We're gonna use gravity on the platform, use an ether, and then start the stop loop again, and then hopefully finish her off here in a second. Nice, okay. Fight can be a little tricky if like one thing goes wrong.
Yeah, it's a very quick little succession there when you're trying to use the gravity in the item. I slipped up for a second there, so it let her get that hit off, but thankfully that was it.
And then similarly to that fight, we're going to use another stop loop on Dragon Mal here. Basically try to do like one hit at the beginning of the fight, and then stop her as she's coming down. One thing I didn't really mention here is you'll see like the exclamation point indicator on top of the party's heads. Rye's also pressing triangle during these fights to get his party aggroed on her too. Get some extra damage in.
Should be enough.
Yeah, nice.
Donald.
Get him, boy.
Doing his magic. Yeah, you want to try to keep her head as low as you can there so that Goofy will just keep doing, well, both of them, so that they'll both keep doing as much damage as possible. And you have to, there was a brief moment where I, like, hesitated on my jump to try to you gotta let her out of the stop loop for a brief second, otherwise she'll just, like, break out on her own, because you can't keep her stopped the whole time. So I hesitated to jump just briefly enough to let her break out of the stop, but not move her head too far away, so that we could still all do as much damage as we could.
Another weird quirk of stop is like for each enemy, there's like, if you keep it stopped for, you know, a certain amount of hits, it'll just break out of the stop no matter what at some point. So here's the second Riku fight. Beginning is a little RNG based on like what moves he uses. You kind of just have to go with the flow. Hope that he doesn't do the dash attack like he's doing there. There's just really no easy way to avoid, especially in this category. And he just keeps doing it. So now Riku's entered up his sort of like power up phase. Rye's gonna try to do a DM skip. We call like when bosses have like an like super powerful move that you can't really do anything to avoid. We call those desperation moves. And once Riku gets down to a single bar of health, you can do it at any time. So he's Rye's specifically doing these 2 into 3 hit combos and staggering him as soon as he can do his DM. Nice. Definitely a little bit of a scary fight.
Yeah. He got out there for a little bit, but thankfully he wasn't damaged too far to where he would DM, so.
Yeah, he must have been like a little bit above where he could DM.
Yeah, he cut me some slack. Now we get to run around as a little heartless.
It's the best part of the game. Totally nothing dramatic or emotional just happened, after that fight, during that cutscene we skipped.
Yeah.
It's just a little fun, little segment where you get to play as a heartless.
He's so quiet. There's no footsteps or nothing. It's just
no sound effects. Just
just heartless. Just always makes me think of like he's wearing socks. Like Sora's running around in his heavy shoes, but this guy's just running around in socks, like not making any noise.
Doesn't want to wake nobody up.
Yeah. Trying to be sneaky.
It's like me trying to grab something out of the fridge at 1 a.m.
Until he hits one of those creaks in the floorboards. Oh man.
A bonk.
Got bonked. Like Froza just where he got bonked too.
It's our last Traverse Town sesh here. I'm gonna talk to Sid and then head back into the sewer to go talk to Kairi, as one does. Grab the Oathkeeper Keyblade.
sounds funny, like she's always hanging out in the sewers, like Kyrie's.
That's a good question. Like, why? Like, she could have just been out there, just chilling.
I don't know. Kyrie in her usual spot, the old sewers. She just got found and saved after countless heartless encounters, and she decides to slum it up in the sewers here. Yeah, we tell Kyrie we're going back to Hollow Bastion. She's like, you probably shouldn't, and I want to go with you. And he's like, you can't do that. Because you'll kind of be in my way. And then she's like, alright. And he gives him Oathkeeper. Now we're back.
I'm gonna go grab a Mushu here. Another
So
really
last
easy thing to
visit-
forget.
Last visit to the old fairy godmother. We thank her for her services as well. Some stairs.
The old fairy godmother loves when we dodge one of those.
Yeah, he gets a little kick out of it. She could use a laugh. She's kind of stuck in their room all the time
A musty swamp room.
with Merlin.
It's our last gummy ship edit here. Put our new I don't even know what it's Thunder or something.
That's Haste 2G.
Haste 2G. Okay.
Upgraded version of the boost. And now we go really fast.
My
Sometimes
favorite thing
going
about
really fast, and this is scary.
yeah, there's a really easy way to die here. Luckily, you can just go in that corner.
What were you
My
saying?
favorite thing about running this game is that like for as long as I've been running it, I still just don't know the names of things. Just like
You
yeah,
don't
that's
really
the part of
need
the
to.
gummy ship that does the thing.
Yeah. Makes us
Know what
go
it does,
faster.
but
Especially after you play in Japanese for a while, you kind of forget what things are called.
yeah. A little small optimization here during like load transitions. Rye doesn't use the boost, otherwise he'd be like boosting during a loading zone, and you would lose speed and distance.
This is like, I hate this gummy mission the most. I would say it's the worst one because there's a lot more Heartless flying at you. There's a lot of stuff in the way. It's just really easy to get hit and die here. You can kind of like maneuver them to fly out of the way for you. Is this the one?
See, what's nice here is once you get to a certain part of that gummy ship section, it does unlock the like Hollow Bastion warp, so you could just leave the mission and then just warp there instead of finishing the rest of the gummy ship mission, which would be much longer.
Yeah. Back to Hollow Bastion for the second time. This will sort of round out, I guess, the late mid game, and then it's going to start end game stuff. It only gets crazier from here.
Have you not put a beast in?
What's that?
I thought, do you put beast in for HP2
No, we
or
don't.
no?
No,
Oh,
we don't use
okay.
them for this one. Don't use them at all.
Oh, right, never mind. Because you use the summon, that's right. Or you can use the summon. Not doubting Rye. I'm simply a confused person.
Thank God I remembered I did not rock Dumbo there.
It's a nice little Dumbo skip here to get us up to a platform you normally can barely not reach. happen is instead of actually going through the world, we can just fly over to this section. This is one of the bigger ones where if he just doesn't do enough, then you're kind of crying in the club.
We do some gravities because they do a lot of damage to behemoths, and we will get the 3-hit combo off so that Genie will have his damage storage, and then we will pray that he kills it. Problem with behemoths is that they're like immune to all elemental magic like fire, blizzard, thunder, all that stuff, so whenever Genie basically casts any of that stuff, it's not doing any damage. So we're hoping for blue orbs because they do a lot of damage, or really just any damage at all. Every time you see those thunders, they are not doing anything. Sadly, it's not enough.
Yeah.
Did not really do too much good for us. Oh, okay, that was delayed.
It was very delayed, wow. He should be pretty low, like...
Yeah, he should be almost dead. The boys are up top. Go, boys. Yeah, so sadly, Genie did not really do his job. Yeah, it was close. Didn't do enough. You hope that Genie will kill him on his own, but if he doesn't do enough blue orbs, then you're just kind of like left to deal with it on your own. Sadly, because they're immune to fire, we couldn't just use Mushu, otherwise that would be much easier. Yeah. This is the only unskippable cutscene in the game. Well, besides there was one earlier too, but I didn't mention that one. But this is the infamous cutscene that you can't skip in any of the games. So enjoy.
Yeah, it's a good cutscene, I guess. A good bathroom break. You could hear Goofy scream. Kind of just everyone's wishing him luck and stuff like that, and going to seal the keyhole of Hollow Bastion. Kind of like the signifier of endgame coming up here. Kind of like a last respite.
Yeah, we're hitting beginning of endgame stuff, which is very intense as well. And I do believe we had already met the incentive for the level 1 Sephiroth fight, so I'll be doing that after this as well. Of course, feel free to make sure you keep those donations going in for the other games that have incentives coming up too. Every dollar is like $100 towards somebody's medical debt, so anything is appreciated.
Our final gummy shit mission here. This one can be a little scary. Not as scary as the last one, but really have to be careful on this one. These like big ships coming up right here kill you in one hit, so you just have to manipulate them to all like go in different parts of the screen. This is like a weird part of the game where, like, so normally throughout the entire game we would get killed in 2 hits. Here, for some reason, the damage works differently here, and you won't quite die in 2 hits. You still have to be very careful, but...
Yeah, it's a little forgiving for these invisibles, thankfully.
Hey, just gravity? No. That didn't happen. Fight's very chaotic just because so many things that these invisibles can do and the patterns that they open up with are different, so...
So high up in the air. Okay. Very stubborn.
Yeah, those were real invisibles. In this room, there's like invisible walls. That's why, you know, I like just seeing Rye roll directly to the next section. There's a bunch of invisible, like walls everywhere that you can't see. And then here we're gonna use Simba again to destroy these harlots really quick. They're kind of a mess to beat randomly. Simba's a much better guarantee. Simba looks so mad. This is another fight coming up here, another behemoth fight, one of the bosses that we just fought. I'm kind of going to be hoping that Genie does good work with his magic. It's a little less scary than the last one, but things can still go wrong. And if I'm not mistaken, the room is kind of awkward sometimes too.
Yeah, it's a lot smaller than the first one, so you don't have as much room to work with.
Hearing the scream of agony from Genie every time it hits me. That's pretty good.
Forward to make him stop moving forward. He did not.
Yes.
See, like, this is why this room is all.
Yeah, now I have to wait for him to turn around. There he goes.
It was really awkward. Normally you want to walk forward and like walk underneath him to make him stop moving forward, but I guess I didn't do it enough because he just kept going. Thankfully Genie did enough.
Now we're entering this section of the game where there's like these portals, and if there's worlds that you didn't finish or worlds that you didn't seal the keyhole in, you have to do these extra mob fights, kind of as like a, hey, you didn't finish this world, so here's this extra fight you have to do to progress. So since we did go to Olympus, but we didn't actually do any of the stuff in Olympus, we're gonna have to do this mob fight. Luckily, Simba takes care of all of them. So you do a little charge up there, kind of send the enemies back, otherwise you will get hit. And then we do full charges to kill the rest. And the second world that we didn't complete was Atlantica. We're going to do another mob fight there. Gonna be a basic, basically a series of fires and some gravities. Use an ether early to maximize how much magic we get. Is it the orange bar? You don't want to die.
I know. I missed a couple. Sadly, it's like really tight. You can't afford to really miss any fires or you won't kill them.
You have like just enough magic to complete it. It's a nice little portal. Luckily there's no fight here. It's 100 Acre Woods, but you get a free Mega Elixir out of it, and we get to touch the save point to refill our MP. This next portal is the Hollow Bastion portal. We have to do a couple invisible mob fights here, which can be a little scary.
They're not being friendly today, that's for sure. Thank you, Goofy.
That's kind of clutch.
Normally when I try to catch them, they all kind of jump at you and stop them together, and today they are just like not really doing that. They're just like standing their ground where they are.
Alright, as we've mentioned like several times throughout the run, we keep mentioning Mushu. Here is a beautiful example of both Mushu and damage storage, which takes what's normally a pretty hard fight and just kind of says, nah. So go into the fight, hit a finisher, land on Turtlebog's arm, and then machine gun Chernobog to death.
Yeah, each one of these bullets is doing finisher-like damage, so this guy gets melted. It's weird because you would think that Chernobog would be immune to fire, but thankfully he's not.
Yeah. He's got plenty of fire attacks, but still is quite weak to it. Now here we're entering what's probably the scariest part of the run, if not one of the scariest, called Final Rest. We're going to fight another one of those behemoths, and then after the behemoth there's several waves of Heartless. Simba's going to take care of most of them, but the ones before Simba are going to be pretty tricky and are kind of scary, so we'll see how this goes. I'll kind of explain as it happens. Some damage to this behemoth here. And knock him down. Healed Donald and Goofy, so now we're able to use our summons. Gonna summon Genie. This one's a little less risky. Genie normally does kill Behemoth here, but can still go wrong. That was really fast.
Yeah.
So now use Genie. Now we're gonna use another summon here. We're just gonna summon Mushu for this next wave of Dark Balls. We go around the room and just finish them off with fires, and then go into the next invisible wave. Left, so I was gonna wait a little bit to unsummon Mushu so the party doesn't mess this up. He's gonna use stop here. He's gonna stop all the invisibles. That's very nice. It's a very tight timing he has to do there. So otherwise they're all in different parts of the room, and it is one of the scariest things you can be in the middle of. Luckily there's only a couple left that weren't killed. This next wave of Angel Stars, Red's gonna try to group them up and use stops. This is also very scary. It's extremely easy to die here. There's so many different moves that these Angel Stars have that can mess you up. I think Rise got it though. Just gonna try to stop them and use the proper amount of gravities to finish them off. Nice, Goofy. Okay, now we're gonna use Simba to finish the rest of the waves. That was very nice.
Ooh.
That was really good. Like, I made that look really easy, but that is one of the most terrifying parts of the run, and to do it fast is extremely hard. It was really good. You have to make sure you summon Simba in specific parts of the room if you're too close. You can mess up the enemy AI and it won't actually kill all of them. But luckily, everything there was really good.
Yeah, you want to try to get... The worst part is trying to get the angel stars kind of stuck together so that you can kill them together. Otherwise, you run out of MP pretty quickly. So thankfully, they were together, and I was pretty good on MP the whole time. Yeah, that whole part is really scary.
I'm sure you were not anxious at all about how that was going to go.
I was trying not to be.
So he kind of here, now we're kind of entering final boss rush section here. Luckily for Ansem 1, we can use Mushu again.
Sorry, Donald.
Unfortunately, Donald got killed, so he's got to get healed, and then we'll summon Mushu after our damage storage. Finisher there. Mushu does. Still have to be a little bit careful. Ansem's got some moves that can hit you, so you just have to make sure not to get hit by those discs mainly. There goes Ansem. We give our whole party items, including ourselves. Basically all the elixirs and mega elixirs that we collected throughout the run. Cottage to fill up.
Had like 7 potions left over.
There's a lot of potions. So it's Dark Side 3, the guy we fought right at the beginning of the game. I'm going to be using these damage storage fires. A little scary of a fight once he enters this phase. All those orbs and shadows start spawning here. That was terrifying.
It's very scary. Come on, dude. Oh my god.
That's okay. That was, yeah, a little scary, as I said. Sometimes it's the orbs and shadows get into tough positions. This is Ansem 2. Similarly to Riku 2, there's also a DM skip here that Rye's going to try to do. Which if you miss, it loses you about like 20-ish seconds. Basically when he gets down to his last 2 bars of health. We don't have scans, we have no idea what his health is exactly. So we kind of have to like estimate when we have to start worrying about it. And try to do the manipulation to stagger him out of his DM. This year I was trying to do a very specific set of combos there to stagger him. There you go. So that was a DM skip right there, which saves a lot of time. That was a nice clutch right there. Once Ansem does that charge attack, it's going to be pretty hard to not get hit by it. Nice, okay. That was a pretty good fight. No DMs. It's a very tight movement there and very tight timing on the DM skips. That was really good. So that was Ansem 2. Now we're heading in right into Ansem 3. Rye's gonna do a 1-hit combo into a 3-hit combo. Now he's got damage storage, and then we're basically gonna barrage Ansem 3 with as much fire as we can. We gotta be really careful in this first phase because you can over damage him, which can make the fight really hard to finish off. Gotta avoid these lasers. And as soon as these lasers start, Rye's gonna fly away. Heartless are gonna spawn after these lasers are done. If we're far away enough, it will despawn the Heartless. You basically don't want to deal with them at all. And Rye's gonna come back up, send more fires into Ansem. We want him to do that like spinning attack right there because it makes him stay out vulnerable longer. Which luckily he's doing those a lot. I'm gonna try to finish him because in a second here he's gonna send even more lasers. Hopefully should be dying here. Nice, okay, dude. If you can't kill him in time, you get the lasers essentially infinitely spawned for the rest of the fight, and you just have to be extremely careful. Now we're gonna fight this wave of Shadow Heartless. Basically, we're gonna go through like a bunch of portals that make us fight very particular Heartless. Gotta be careful here, there are a million of them. And you do die in 2 hits. Shadows are very chaotic.
I knew he was gonna go under too, and I still swung.
They're little trolls.
Yeah.
Alright, artillery is coming up next. This is probably one of the hardest parts of the run. And a face. Basically, this fight, you want to get damage storage right away, and then you're going to send fires into his face for the rest of the fight, while avoiding these constant barrage of lasers that have very, like, specific timings. And at some point we'll want Goofy to come back up and use one of his Mega Elixirs. Doing this fight with actual just normal hits would just take an absurd amount of time. These fires are very important. We don't have access to abilities like R's Arcanum that make the fight go fast like in regular Proud. He's gonna revive Goofy here. Goofy's gonna use the Mega Elixir.
Quick donation while you're in this fight.
Sure.
We have $10 from Flounder SSBM with no comment, but thank you very much, Flounder, for the
Thank you,
donation.
Flounder.
Really appreciate it.
The one and only.
Yeah, thanks for that, Flounder. Should be dead here in a minute. There we go.
There we go. Okay. Alright, next really scary part of the run is Invisible's Core. Your party can mess this up. You want to stop these. There's going to be two waves of 3 Invisibles here. Rye's going to immediately jump and stop these 3. And wait for the other 3 to come up. Hope Goofy or Donald doesn't mess up their AI. This should be good and should kill them all. They should be close. There's one left.
Yeah, sadly, Donald didn't get his elixir off before he died, so it's alright.
Didn't have
We'll
enough
give it to us
gravities,
later.
yeah.
Still worked.
Right, hardest part of the run is this fight right here. Look closely. I'm not even going to talk because I do not want to mess Rye up. Look at that scary face. Terrifying. Okay, that was close. Good stuff.
Alright, last fight of the game.
Ansem 4. Rye's going to lock onto Ansem, send his party towards Ansem so that they don't get hit by these lasers. We need to keep the party alive to use Mushu. He's going to fly over, do a 3-hit combo, and then summon Mushu. That was beautiful.
So time is going to be when Ansem is dead, when the light flashes. So I'll say when. Because I can't, we don't see his HP bar, so I don't know exactly when it is, but whenever that happens.
He's going to fly up and then just use Mushu.
And time.
GG's, dude.
Thank you. Oof. Not too bad. I think I only had the 1 death to LSB.
Yeah, I think that was it. What were you timing it with loadless?
No.
Okay. The 2:33.
Yeah, I was looking at the time on the thing. That's pretty good. I don't know. That could have been close to a PB. I really don't know. I'm surprised because it didn't feel very good, but it was. I'll have to check what my RTA time is for my PB. I'm not sure. We use loadless times for the leaderboard, so I wouldn't really have been able to tell. I guess if I just had it up on my own, I didn't do that.
Well, and do not take my timer accuracy as gospel.
It's actually a little faster than your RTA
Oh, is it?
by like 30.
Okay, it was, it was close then. It was good.
That's really solid.
So we did get the Sephiroth thing, right?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. So I'll have to close out of the game real quick and restart it. So it's gonna kind of like crash. unfortunately, our mods for the game, whenever you beat Ansem 4, it just crashes the game when you try to reset it. So.
It's even without mods, if you try to close the game after you beat it, it freaks out. It
I'll
doesn't
restart
want
it
to close.
real quickly. Then we'll give our take at level 1 Sephiroth. This is not easy.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'm
Just did
hoping
a
I can
really
do
hard
it.
run
Yeah.
into one of like the hardest fights with the hardest restriction.
I'm hoping I can do it first try. I'm not going to guarantee it, but see. Sephiroth is like one of the hardest super bosses in this version of the game. I guess maybe excluding the unknown character that's probably more difficult, but this is, people like Sephiroth better. So plus unknown, you
It
just kind of loop him around anyway. There's a cheese way. You can't really cheese Sephiroth, so
yeah.
that probably makes him more difficult in the end. But level 1 is a whole nother story. Because we're, once again, only level 1. I'll be going in with 3 elixirs, and again, I am level 1 just to see. Goofy's level 2 because he gets special perks, but everybody's level 1. I'm going in with 3 elixirs. I only have 3 item slots, so I can't go in with any more. So, the same rules apply. We're going to die in, well, thankfully we get like 3 hits, but we'll see how it goes. I guess I'll let the cutscene play. I don't know how much time I have, but it's not that long. Sephiroth also has a lot of RNG with his moves, so he can be very difficult. We got actually the Cloud's Keyblade on too, so got long range. Nice, good start. Yeah, alright. Very nice start. Instantly demolished. Alright.
Just again, another Ryeguy example.
Yeah.
Actually, really quick, can you share again? Sorry.
Oh yeah, my bad.
No worries.
I forgot when the game closes that, it does that. Alright, now I'm gonna skip it. Alright, so now you know how easily we can die, so. It also has a revenge value too, so it's gonna spam me with fire pillars.
It's one of these enemies, like, if you have a certain hit value on them, like a certain amount of hits, they will, like, retaliate at certain points, so it's one of those fights where you want to, like, constantly keep track of where you are in the fight so that you know how many hits will trigger something to happen. And you can also make sure you can get out of the way before he does the fire pillar.
He's being a real prick. Oh my god.
Kind of have to, yeah. It's really hard just to not get in general.
I can't fit. If you get in the sides of the pillars, you can kind of like jump in and like stagger him out of it. It little bit of end, like, invincible frames there at the end of the fire. Gonna make it. Alright, here's the second phase. It's gonna be much worse. He moves a lot faster. He's gonna start using his Octa Slash ability, which is also probably the worst thing to try to avoid.
And that ability, when Sephiroth stands there and like charges up, if you don't get to him in time, he'll get rid of all your MP and HP. I'll make sure that you hit him as soon as you can. This is level 1, so we don't have anything like Leaf Bracer. We don't have any abilities.
That's the Octa Slash move, which is very hard to dodge if you don't know the timing. And even if you do, sometimes you get put in a bad situation that you can't avoid the hits. Trying to stagger him out of here. Pop one.
Yeah, we don't have any MP, so he's gonna use an elixir there for safety.
Best thing you can do when you get stuck in these fire pillars is not move, because you will hit the frames much sooner if you start trying to like run around.
Or Octa Slash. It's bunk.
Here's his third phase.
Yeah, and beginner with like Leaf Bracer and stuff, this fight, you can just like heal through everything. With this, we have no abilities, so you do have to be far more careful.
This phase is absolutely wild.
Yep.
Now he's got orbs coming out around him. He moves just as fast, and he does all the same attacks too. Plus a few new ones, like that. Do it again. I'm shocked I didn't die there.
That was terrifying.
Ah.
It's beautifully dodged right there.
Just gonna try to sneak in there and get a hit there, but the orbs make it harder to catch him on the sides in the third phase. Can't see. There we go.
Nice. Okay.
Ooh, man, that was insanely sketchy.
Good stuff.
Alright, second try, I'll take it. Yeah, that was rough. I thought I was gonna die there multiple times. I was about to try to pop the elixir too, but then he hit me again out of it, so I was like, that's not gonna work either, so doesn't matter. We did it. Thank you all for having me here for the RIPDebt Marathon. I very greatly appreciate it. Thanks for meeting the incentive too, so I could show off level 1 Sephiroth. I appreciate everybody for watching. Hope you all enjoyed the level 1 Insanity. And after this, we got more Kingdom Hearts too, so look forward to that as well. But thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate it, and that'll be it for me.
Have a good one, y'all.
All right, thank you so much, both of you. And yeah, like they said, we've got Kingdom Hearts 2 final mix coming up. Beginner any %, which is different than level 1 any %. I don't know how. I don't understand category names. Before we go into the intermission for a few minutes, I do want to shout out Sprinkle Theory with a $15 donation. Sprinkle Theory says, let's help get rid of medical debt. Excited to see a Stardew NDE run, which I'm going to guess means that we met that incentive, which means I don't have to riot, which is nice. So thank you very much for that donation. As a reminder, for every dollar donated to the event, $100 in medical debt is wiped out. So that $15 donation means that somebody doesn't have to pay a $1,500 bill, which is cool. So y'all stick around, and we will be back in just a little while. Go find your wallets while you're waiting.